for these things, but it wasn't great for them, and now they're coming back to Lunar Colony. Again, this was the Guangzhou Charge map pick.
Yes, loser picks in this current format right now. We're first to 4, no longer first to 3 in the play-ins, presented by Xfinity, but it is also the case that the loser team picks the losing team, picks the next map.
That was a little harsh, I was going to say. A little bit harsh.
Going for Come on, Charge. I gotta get rid of that victim mentality and start getting some victor mentality going here. Wonder what the coaches had to say. That is also a trend that we've been seeing so far with these matches in the play-ins, presented by Xfinity, is that when they get to go and have that halftime break, this is when the players get to interact with their coaches. And we have seen teams that were down 2-0, all of a sudden they start showing some fight, all of a sudden they're starting to correct some of those errors. So, curious to see how that plays out here.
Well, Guangzhou makes the first part of the map done. On these assault maps, you have to fight just to get into a position to fight. But they get in with no losses. Happy's got to be a little careful.
No deaths so far. That's good as far as the Solar Dynasty are concerned. Whoa, I've just about cursed bits.
Just about, but he gets out alive. A nice halt is going to pull people off of the high ground, take away that position immediately. Well played there by Rio.
Nice attempt at a pounce there. They do take Michelle eventually. Toby also caught out in the open. Not going to help things here for the Seoul Dynasty, but the Seoul Dynasty, turns out they still have a barrier to hide behind. Sigma is still alive. Jaehong takes out Hotba as well. Things could get a little dicey here for the Charge on the push if the Dynasty play this well, but we've lost Jaehong, and that's a lot of your throughput gone by the wayside.
Another barrier comes in from both sides. Both doors blocked by barriers, but it does seem like Guangzhou should be able to finish this one up as Eileen gets bits. Marvel will fall after. And already a much better looking map for Guangzhou than yesterday against Chengdu.
I don't necessarily think when you're getting into these sorts of scenarios, play-ins, presented by Xfinity, playoffs, it is really turning into a crisis of confidence for the teams. I think that's going to be the thing. It's not so much the individual level. These guys, they're all top-level elite performers. But do they believe in themselves? Who actually controls the momentum in the match? Who has the confidence right now to know to get the job done and to get that win? So right now, the Charge first 2 maps didn't look like they had it, but that was a solid first point there picked up. And now they've got 4 minutes 50 to collect the second point possible here on this map.
This next push is going to be very difficult for the Guangzhou Charge, mostly because Fitz that we see. He's got EMP ready. He's ready to drop it. There it goes. Everybody hacked. Everyone ability-less. Sans abills.
Yes, and it's just, no fun allowed. Get out of here. Hotba will be able to dodge back out. Looks like, hey, Marvel gonna go aggressive here. Hoping perhaps to catch a stagger. Looking for it. Why not? Don't want to cost it too much. I mean, he is going to respawn right on the point pretty much, so that's why he is kind of taking these risks. But Happy gets walled off from his team. That's going to delay things further here for the Charge.
Gets frozen right there. Now it's time to reset. But that was a very quick first capture. They're not really in that much trouble just yet. So Guangzhou resets. Take an account of your ultimates. Only a Death Blossom to go. And Fitz, after he used the EMP, just going to switch onto the Doomfist instead. Soul right now, an embarrassment of riches and ultimates. So Guangzhou can slow push this and start matching the ultimate economy. They're very close in a lot of these.
Yeah, you can see all those glowing check marks, those ultimate abilities. Well, you got Jaehong going for the boost. Fleta decides now's the time to Blizzard, and Rio, he's hanging on by a thread. Nice barriers, but he does go down in the end. And while you lost Eileen as well in the mix, Hotba, he's sent back to spawn, and it is going to be the Charge getting sent packing. Another minute going to be burnt off the clock here. And the Seoul Dynasty feels like they're starting to hit their stride here on the second point defense.
That's actually not terrible for Guangzhou, because if you look at it, they were nearing ultimates when Seoul was using the Blizzard on them. So now they're going to have nearly every ultimate except for the sound barrier. You could open with Coalescence. We always talk about it. Opening with Coalescence goes great. They hit it on the halftime. It goes through the barriers. It creates all the positioning. You can't just sit behind barriers and wait. Their supercharger's going to come out.
Yeah, and then Eileen. Perfect way to open it up. Fitz is gone. Toby with the sound barrier, though. Trying to keep his team up, and it is working so far. Shu has to stay alive. He needs to be here to provide the healing for his team as Eileen flattens Michelle. Big kills coming in here for the Charge. They can make all the difference. Jaehong caught it out in the open. Happy finding 2, and that should be the Seoul Dynasty. The defense has finally been cracked here, Hex.
Able to get it through, even though there was a nice accretion on his Shu during his ultimate. It is the ultimate ability and usage from the Guangzhou Charge that brings it through, and it just happened that they worked on their bank. They knew they weren't going to win that one fight, banked up 5 ultimates, and ultimates, even though they charge slower, still very, very good abilities. Second half of HLC right after this.
Coca-Cola is the official refreshment of the Overwatch League.
There you have them on your screen, the Charge. And after the halftime, seems like they're following the trend. We've seen this a lot with the teams so far in the play-ins presented by Xfinity, with teams turning around their performance. After the second map, they get to go back, they get to talk to their coaches, and they get back into the match, and they look revitalized. Well, that was a very competent first 2 points picked up here on Lunar Colony for the Guangzhou Charge, and now it's on the Seoul Dynasty. What are they going to do?
Happy did his job there. You see him on the screen, and we were questioning it because Nero had such a good performance yesterday. But Happy had 7 final blows there. Got everything done that he needed. Some good Death Blossom kills as well.
Yeah, and guys, this is the thing. I hate to break it to you, but the grand finals are sold out. Philadelphia, that's it. Sold out arena. No more tickets left. But if you want to come and watch the playoffs presented by Xfinity live here in the Blizzard Arena, you can get them. Go check out the tickets, axs.com/OWL, and get some tickets. Come and watch us with us here live.
And I'm a bit forlorn as we will be bidding farewell to the Blizzard Arena. Only a couple weeks left. This has been our home for so many weeks over the last couple of years.
Yeah.
Come by, check it out. See one of the best LCD screens in the entire world.
One of the best stages in the entire world, hands down, you're right. So good. Now we go. What do we got in store for us here? Hey, we've seen how effective this strategy can be on this map. You get the teleporter down, right across the open ground, and straight up looking for the fight. No hesitation whatsoever here on the side of Seoul Dynasty. Hoping to pull a fast one on the Charge. And Charge are running the similar strategy to what we saw yesterday versus the Hunters. Yeah. They've got Happy on Ashe.
Eileen gets called out, though. Caught out, rather, and eliminated very early. So Happy's got to get some work done on this Ashe if they want any chance. A big anti opens things up, a huge anti from Shu.
Yeah, Fitz is gone. That's a lot of damage, pressure gone, but they're trading it back, and Shu dying isn't going to help things, but Happy's out in the open. Full shots right to the face, and he's making life difficult here for the Seoul Dynasty. Who is contesting on the point right now? It looks like it's Eileen who's got that body on there, but he's gone, and now the Seoul Dynasty, very quick first take of the point. 6 minutes in the bank to work with.
It's got to be something that Seoul saw yesterday, because Chengdu did that exact same strategy against Guangzhou. So that's the benefit of being a higher seed. You get to get the game tape on a team in a new patch.
In a new patch.
And you can see how they play on the maps, and Seoul takes advantage of it.
Yeah, it's true. That is actually a very good point to make. Information is invaluable. And so now the Charge have got a lot of work ahead of them. 5.5 minutes here for the Seoul Dynasty to tie the game up. And they're going to have ultimates coming online now as well. Jae-Hong nearly has the Coalescence. Once again, he's a bit on the slow side with it, but he'll have it online soon enough, and I'm curious to see. I think he's just going to smash it. Yep, as soon as it comes online, boom. Get in there. Happy looking for a flank into the back line, putting some pressure on Jae-Hong. He's going to get beamed, though, and Happy now at risk of getting picked off. Still, kill here for the charge. They have the man advantage on the Seoul Dynasty.
It's enough. It's enough on assault maps. You usually start with the one, you get a couple more, and it's all good. Shu on the Ana is interesting. I think it's something you can run on the defense because your team's going to be playing behind your own barriers. But now he's going to switch off of it. Caster Curse the Ana.
It's too much pressure. Just get that AoE healing in there, you know, just
yeah, I mean, I like the Ana because I think Bionade with all the anti-healing is one of the best basic abilities in the game.
Hands down. A game that relies so heavily on healing. No healing allowed. Life gets a bit rough. We've got the Fluxes online for both of these teams now. And Rio, he's used the Charger, and Seoul Dynasty, this is wise. This is exactly how it's supposed to go. You back off, you let that thing run out.
It's actually fine for the Charge, though, because Michelle doesn't have his anywhere near, so they're not going to be behind in that aspect, and it buys them some time.
So that's worn off. Happy on the high ground, though, just waiting for them to push on through. Hello, halted into the open. Accretion attempt there. I like that kind of play, but we still have both Fluxes online here. Seoul Dynasty going for the long wraparound, hoping to catch somebody on the charge out of position. But now it is. We're going to get the Flux on one side and countered by the other. Sound barrier used by Toby. Char didn't have his online. That might come back to hurt the charge. Plenty of pressure getting poured on here by the Seoul Dynasty, and it's a sweep of the defense. Real progress getting made here on the second point, and the Seoul Dynasty, they've done it all right.
It's the second time that a better barrier has won Seoul Dynasty. At least some progress on this fight. The last second, the barrier now comes out from Chara as his team in desperation mode just hit touch the point.
Oh man, Eileen just got blasted though. Happy with the double, and nobody's on the point. Michelle, you look confused.
Rio, where are you going? You have a dentist appointment you're late for? He rolls right through the point. He had barrier, he had everything he needed, and then he rolls right off it. They could have pulled that back. Happy hits that Blossom.
That's those unforced errors will cost you. Taking a quick break. We'll be right back. Witnessed a Charlie Niner. But it happens. Unforced errors. These are the kinds of things that can potentially cost you. And that was a very quick take because of it for Seoul Dynasty. 2-2. But Seoul Dynasty has so much more time in the bank.
It's not like Rio was low either. He just burned right through. Maybe you saw a target of opportunity and you get kind of anxious in those situations. That's where being kind of a team comprised mostly of rookie players can come back to bite you. They also had a Lucio messing around the corner, but I mean, you get a couple of kills from a Death Blossom, that's probably a fight you can turn back at that point in time.
100%.
Anyway, moving on, we do have another half to go here on Horizon Lunar Colony. The offense will be the Guangzhou Charge as they have less time in their time bank. They make some switches to the composition they want to run. And Fleta is on the Mei. Great stall hero for this situation.
Exactly. We see how effective it was on King's Row. Seoul Dynasty, they're clearly comfortable with this strategy. And the Charge are going to be able to make their way through. A little bit of damage here from Marvel, just letting them know he's hanging around here, no worries at all. And the Charge still making up their minds. Still trying to find an opening here.
Don't go outside, please.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. There's a great boop. Marvel just knocks right off the side, out of position, can't help his team. Seoul Dynasty, though, they're still hanging in this. Nobody's dropped yet on their side, so the Charge still trying to find a kill.
Oh, they're trying to get the Sigma. He's getting a ton of support. They do get a stunt on him in the backline. Nope, Sigma will live.
Oh, that
mistimed punch.
That's crazy. The Mei block. Eileen right now is just desperately trying to find a kill. But it's his teammates who will do it. Chara and Shu. Finally, it works out here for the Charge. Eventually, something had to give, and it turns out it's the Seoul Dynasty's backs.
It comes from that initial knockoff of Marvel on the high ground. That means they have one less barrier up top, which means you can't fight up top. And they all have to leave, and then a couple people get isolated trying to peel for Marvel, trying to keep him alive, and so they get those first two kills onto Marvel and Fleta, and that's it. I mean, you can't fight 4v6 in Overwatch for the most part unless you have these crazy carries. Not going to happen. So 3 points thus far for Guangzhou Charge, and they've got a minute to go. A minute should get them one Coalescence to open. Both sides have it.
Yeah, both sides have it this time. Jae-Hong
But look at this.
There to manage.
Hotba's got the Flux, and Marvel so far away. Marvel almost dead. Oh, barely
Okay,
lives.
There it is. Oh, grabs so many on the side of Soul as well. Terrific damage going out onto the defense now. Soul Dynasty already down a man. That's not going to help things. Marvel, that's putting him even further behind on the Flux.
Flutter's got to live. Flutter's got Blizzard. Oh, Flutter almost had Blizzard.
This might be it. 2 ticks, looking for a third here. It is entirely possible for the Charge to just steamroll them, and they do just that.
Toby barrier solo to try to just buy some time, get on the point, gets knocked back, gets stunned off the point, and the Charge, with only a couple minutes in their bank to open that up, get another 2 points, and they still have time in their bank.
They still have time in the bank. That's unreal. They started that with what? It looked like 2 minutes 36, something along
something
those
like
lines.
that, yeah.
So I mean, they got 40 seconds in the bank still, 41 to be precise. That's solid. That's a feel-good moment there for the Charge. They needed that kind of thing because Eileen, I think could be the main difference maker there as well. He certainly came alive, but both of the damage dealers for the Charge, Happy and Eileen, 11 final blows for Happy, 12 for Eileen.
I mean, it's a young team. It's one of the youngest teams in the league, so if you can start getting some momentum, after the halftime, I'm sure the coaches were calming them down. Guys, you reverse swept this team. Less than a month ago, 3 weeks ago, you reverse swept this team. You can beat these guys, you know that.
It's true, especially considering Soul Dynasty's record so far this season. They're not exactly a dominant force. They're not that team that have that ironclad confidence in their abilities.
They've not been world beaters. They're not necessarily 4-0ing teams they should be. They're losing to teams that I think are below them in a lot of places. So that momentum's a really weird thing in every sort of competitive sport. You start getting one thing going for you, then the other team starts to lose it, and it's the sliding kind of scale.
Plays along. Well, now let's see. 3 minutes 25 on the clock here for the Soul Dynasty, and they're going to rinse and repeat. The same strategy. Fitz will be on the Symmetra. Teleport across the open ground. Teleport is set up. Everybody across. And instant reaction this time from the Charge. They were ready for it. They were ready for it. Perfect play here from the Charge. You're not going to pull a fast one on us like that again.
Fool me once.
Nope, I'm not pulling a George Bush. You get out of there. Not happening.
I was going to do the actual one. It's a good saying. They were prepared finally. It happened to them a couple times yesterday too, so it would maybe be fool me 3 times.
Man, that was such a great time nade there from Shu as well. You're going through a TP. I know exactly where you're going to be. Both tanks in front. Boom! Denied the healing. So tough. Oh.
Well, this also forces Soul onto a different composition too. Soul off of the teleporter strategy. Gonna go over to the Doom and Reaper. Looks like pretty mirrored matches. The only difference being Shu and Jaehong running different healers.
Well, blasting on through. And wrapping around. Oh, high ground given up here. Soul Dynasty not quite able to open it up the way the Charge did to them.
What are you doing, Chara?
Just rolling, man. He's rolling, and now he's dead. He doesn't have to worry about anything anymore, Hex. That's how it works. There you go. 2 kills for the Soul Dynasty.
He was all alone. Chara also had a terrible Horizon Lunar Colony yesterday, where he peeked twice and got Widowmaker twice.
That's a good point. Good to bring it up, yeah.
He's all alone on the point, and you can't do that against a Doomfist. Yeah, you're an evasive target. You can mess around and do all you want if the other team's running a Tracer. But a Doomfist has that one-shot capability. Chara goes down, and the rest of the Guangzhou Charge crumble behind it. But now you have to regroup. You got to forget about that. That just happened. Because now you have 2 minutes to hold. You have to, if you hold 2 pushes, you win this map.
Different point of entry coming in for Soul, though. They elect to wrap on the left side. And already you've got Happy in position, right over the top, waiting for him. Goes dropping right on in. He can do this with impunity, but it's Fleta to find the kill. Eileen a bit ahead of himself, and he had Meteor Strike as well, so he'll have that ult for the next run around, but now it's the Flux from Hotba. He got terrific results from it last time. Is it going to work again here? And Michelle is gone. Opportunity to shut down this offense.
Soul should go home. They will do just that. They're going to retreat. They don't want to give away any more lives.
Quick work there from the observers.
Quick work there. Hotba onto Marvel. Showing them that even when you float, you can crouch.
I wonder, man, how uncomfortable that's got to be, because that suit, I mean, his whole body weight is constantly being held up in that suit. I mean, that's got to chafe. No? Unless it's, where are the contact points on that thing?
Baby powder, man. Baby powder.
It's layers on layers.
All right, Soul with one last push, or Guangzhou will pick up their first map of the series. They got plenty of tools to use it. I mean, they could actually slow play this too and wait for both support ultimates. They could wait for all 6 to be online and be fine. And now I think they should kite, but they're going to go Flux it.
Flux it in. Oh, and it's a 1-for-1. There you go. This is what we were waiting for here. Fitz just coming alive on the Doomfist. Giving it to him rough. No problem at all. And they are just barely hanging in here. Charge still trying to play this out. Soundbear's in there. Chara keeping his team up. And Fitz still looking for kills, and it's setting it up for his teammates. Rio is out of the fight. Eileen looking to make a play there, but he's going to get chased away, and Fitz is still just hunting for targets.
Chara trying for the redemption story. That barrier kept Guangzhou in this fight. No doubt about it. The Flux comes in late.
Nice play to take Hoppa out of the picture, but now you've got Marvel and Jayhong who are gone. Back and forth, but this favors the Charge. They can keep coming through here, and it's the Dynasty who have got further to run.
Fleta is just pounding right now, though. Picks up too late. Chara is going to die. Is there going to be enough stall? They bring in the Diva to try to do just that.
Yeah. Not again.
Not again. Twice running. They can't even believe it. Jayhong, he's chuckling.
They got halted. They got halted. The Matrix came in very quickly to try to get on there. There was some movement abilities, pushed him off. They tried to get back on, and then the halt comes in because he can't Matrix anymore. You're out of it. Pulls him just that corner off. Horizon's got some weird boundaries on the control line. We're going to do it all again on Lunar Colony when we come back.
So we have yet another situation, whether it's fate, Charge and piss somebody off, but that's 2 points that they've given up on the last one there, and that's a tough break for them. Seoul Dynasty will get another crack at this. We're tied up 4-4. Seoul Dynasty get a minute added to the clock, and now we get to see what they're capable of if they can push through here quick.
Yeah, minute 41. 40 seconds isn't the biggest of deals. It can be by a small margin here. And Guangzhou should know what's coming at him. It's going to be a teleporter. Fleta lagging behind here. Oh, new teleporter spot. They're going to take high ground, but they lose Fitz immediately as he gets yoinked and doinked. Rio takes him out. So 30 seconds. It's actually good that that happened to Seoul.
Yeah, because now Fitz is gone for the fist as well. So.
Yeah, you just reset. It didn't work, but you still have a fight. The worst thing that can happen is a long, drawn-out fight where that happens to you.
20 seconds. Now you're cutting it close. Definitely do not go outside in this situation.
No.
10 seconds.
They can
Gotta
just
get
go
on.
to the point, yeah.
Gotta get on the point. Nice halt. Hot on the low ground. Perhaps he's vulnerable, but it's Eileen. Drops Marvel at the beginning of this fight, and that's not going to bode well here for the offense. Seoul Dynasty now on the back foot. Shu removes Jayhong as well, and they're just going to keep dropping like flies unless Seoul Dynasty can come up with some heroics here.
They get two very quickly. Seoul would also like to get at least one tick onto the points. Not going to happen, though, as they got off of it very briefly, so it started reverting.
Sick call from Marvel. Rotated back onto the hamster, so now he's back into this. Could potentially create it for, Fitz is still alive and kicking. Him and Marvel are working together. Eileen is gone. Now you got Hotba putting in the fight, and finally he takes down Fitz. But that bought enough time for Rio to roll his way back into the point now as well.
What is happening?
This is unreal that they're still in this. Now you've got a Diva, that's Michelle. Anything that gets you back to the point quickly, that's what Seoul Dynasty are going for right now. Fitz is going to have time to get back in here too, Hex. And then when you have that explosive power, he can actually just run in here and start dropping bodies. Unbelievable! Seoul Dynasty stabilize.
Better mental fortitude than I've seen from Seoul throughout most of the season. They make the correct switches, get back to the point. The reinforcement times almost equidistant between these teams. Horizon Lunar Colony is an enormous map. Both sides have to run a really long way to get to that point. 5 points now for... Oh, that is heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking when you think about it for the Charge. Just this map. Toby, though, he's on the point. Sound barrier there. Buffing everybody up. Hoppa, he's been so good with the fluxes so far. Does he get any value this time? No dodge, but Jayhong dies. No healing here for Seoul Dynasty, and it's looking like this time around, I'm going to call it, Hex. They gotta stabilize. No way!
It's only one. It's 3-1 here, and if if Seoul bring this back, then I don't know what to believe anymore. It will be Guangzhou holding on this defense. They will have 141
to at least tie up.
For a fleeting moment there, I thought that Fleto was going to pull it off with that Blossom. I just saw all the health bars dropping on the side of the charge. Like, no way does he get a double or a triple here. That would have been insane, but still, 5 points. 5 points possible, and they got him here for the Seoul Dynasty. Now it's on the Charge.
Charge have 2 shots at this, potentially, depending how long the fight goes in the first one. But 141 should be enough time. We saw Seoul get 2 shots at it with only a minute. That's because Toby died immediately, but you can get back there in time. But I wouldn't want to get back there in like a scattering of heroes that Seoul had to bring in. They had to bring in a Hammond, they had to bring in a Diva. There's a lot of hero switches that had to come in, so Guangzhou going to try to make it a little bit cleaner. If they take this first point, they will not be able to lose the map at the very least, which would be progress since they lost 2 maps already.
You gotta keep in mind, draws don't really factor into this. It's not like in the regular season where it's like, oh, you got to draw. That's it. You're not getting a 5th map. Here, it's 1st to 4. So that's what we saw earlier in today's match to kick things off. Now we'll get to see Seoul Dynasty. Do they have what it takes to lock out the Charge? And do Charge have the mental fortitude? Everything has gone against them. Everything has gone against them so far on this map. Do they have the mental fortitude to fight through that and get them
On the board. Seoul Dynasty currently up 2-0 in maps. If they win this, that's going to put them at match point. So this is big. The Charge, a lot of pressure on their shoulders right now. And now they're moving on through. No Symmetra shenanigans for them. They want to get right into the meat of it. They want to get right into the action. Seoul Dynasty trying to do a good job here of backing off. Nice stun. They're just trying to trade them. A lot of pressure getting poured onto Seoul Dynasty. They're at risk of dropping.
Flooded Marvel are super low. They're going to retreat, and that's going to charge Jaehong's coalitions up. Could be a very interesting battle between Shu and Jaehong. Jaehong leading in the arms race thus far.
They give him a tick of permanent. It looks like they give him a tick of permanent. Maybe 2 here as well. When do Seoul Dynasty decide it's time to get into this point and contest? And it's now. Looking like it's now. Fleta. Oh, there's Happy. Once again, Fleta, now you got to come up with the goods, buddy. But it's not enough. Eileen takes Michelle. Marvel is gone as well. This is the Charge fighting back. This is the Charge righting the wrongs.
I mean, Jaehong dies, but it's kind of Fleta's fault. Fleta went in too deep. He's trying to get out. Now you know the retreat pattern, so Happy rotates. He's there to meet Jaehong, who he knows is going to go heal his Reaper. 33% of progress is all that is needed. 55 seconds is the time that they have to do it. Hotfa's got Flux. Shu should have Coalescence. That's the opener.
Wombo. Combo.
Well, not really, but it's a good opener.
Let's see it. I mean, Hoppa's been so good with the fluxes so far. If anybody's capable, it could be him, but Eileen...
They're still going to go.
There it is. Do we get it? Nope. Fleta gets out of dodge. No worries there, and the damage mitigated for Dynasty, so Hoppa not getting the value from that flux, but his teammates are getting it done the old-fashioned way. Headshots will do just fine. Fleta and Toby.
Eileen should be able to get back in during this.
Oh, it's back and forth now. Fitz is starting to blow him up. Shu and Chara dead. That's the back line gone here for Charge. Somebody focus. Hoppa finally, but Happy's finding kills as well.
It's just a Lucio.
One tick is all they need. Fleta's still here. Michelle is in roll. And now it's going to be on the hamster. How long can he survive? Can he roll his way out of this one? Just trying to play the fight. He's just trying to play the game. They're right on the edge. And what is this? A Marvel? He's on a run.
There's a great preemptive meteor strike there to get the opposing.
Kill the lantern! Kill the lantern! All right, Fleta's in there with the Blossom now.
We got a Winston on the field. We're in absolute chaos mode.
This is unbelievable. This is unreal. It's just going back and forth, but this has got to be it. The Charge, they couldn't quite find it. They couldn't get it done. It's all on the Seoul Dynasty now, just collecting the kills. Hoppa rolling his way into the grave.